glad that you were able to make it here through all the snow. And this is a very special time for us, for MaxYourBrain, the podcast, and just the efforts that you so kindly volunteered your time to just see out the vision that early on that I had laid out, and to inspire me to do a bit more based on your interests that just align with MaxYourBrain. And this actually marks the 1 year from my fourth brain surgery. And I learned so much from that. And the biggest in-your-face moment that I had a few days ago from the president of MaxYourBrain, my father, and he just reminded me that it's not that you are a cancer patient, cancer survivor, particularly a brain cancer patient, like 5 times diagnosed. That's not what's relevant in your life. It's that you, in lieu of that, still progress. And what my neurosurgeon had coined, that I thrive beyond what my setbacks have been. And so this is just a interruption episode into our normal broadcast schedule. And
it's taking a step back and just looking at where we've come, right? And sometimes you got to do that where you're so caught up in the day-to-day life, what life throws at you, and sometimes you just need to take a step back, and it's like, let's be proud of where we're at.
So yeah, it's given us grace. And what has been your experience with this year and just the beginning of this podcast?
It's things that you don't normally talk about, and just talking about these topics, like for instance, we do this podcast and then we edit it and then we listen to it back and make sure everything's good. Even listening to it back, I'm like, I got to practice what I preach, right? And it's almost like I'm talking back to it myself. I'm like, oh, I remember this. Oh, I can do better at this. Like, it was kind of refreshing going back and listening to these episodes, because you kind of lose track in that day-to-day life stuff, and you forget about even the things that you've talked about that are important. And so even just kind of listening back to these episodes that we do is helpful for me in my life to better improve my day-to-day and how I attack each day, and to be thankful of what we have and live life to the fullest.
Yeah, so this is my 1 year mile marker. I'm trying to beat 11 years without a without a 6th diagnosis. So you are on 9 years, is that correct?
Yes. I'm terrible at keeping track of this stuff. Like, I'll just go day to day, and my wife will be like, we're having a special dinner tonight. I'm like, oh, why? It's like, oh, because it's your 9-year anniversary. I'm like, I lost track a long time ago. That's just kind of who I am. I don't really keep track of anything.
We were getting into it a little bit before we started recording, but walk me through this previous scan that you did, 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago. So I'm at 1 year right now, and we talked previously.
Between scans?
Between scans, yeah. Okay. 1 year between CAT scans, where you get the oral contrast and the contrast, the other contrast through your veins and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so it's been at 1 year for a while, and when we were going through the episodes, you talked about self-advocacy, right? And I'm like, well, I need to do a little bit and ask, do I really need it at 1 year? Can it go to 2 years now? I mean, I've had so many scans, and the likelihood of cancer coming back after a little bit of time, the percentages of it coming back get lower and lower. And so I contacted my doctor, and like maybe even a year ago or something like that. And I'm like, do I really need this scan? And I didn't hear back. And then months go by, contacted him again, and didn't hear back. The one thing that was different, the last scan, they added blood work on it, which is just basically checking. Is like, hey, is anything going on? Are these scans starting to affect me?
Your last scan as in just a few days ago?
No, even before that.
Okay.
So I'm still...
Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically. And the blood work went fine, but I still wanted a conversation, right? I wanted to ask questions. And the hard part is I love my doctor, and he is working his ass off every single day. And I'm sure a lot of the patients that he has are in much worse shape than me. And in terms of their journey throughout the cancer, I mean, it's probably more active. I remember when I was going weekly, and it was like, can I start the next chemo treatment or not? But what does my blood work say? It's like right in the process, as opposed to where I'm at. I just need some clarification on what the plan is moving forward, since we haven't seen anything since.
So you reached out once, twice, now 3 times.
And so got an appointment. Now I have an appointment to see him. And how the episode helped me, and it's very easy to write off, well, it doesn't matter, right? And there's people out in what, but you do have to just kind of keep pushing to get what you want, because it's important to you. Your health is important, and you can't push it aside. You need to just keep going at whatever stage. So if you were at any stage of your health journey and you're not getting a response, and you have that voice in your head saying, oh, it's fine, he'll get back to me. And it's like, you need persistence. You need persistence in not only your health, but in life in general, because a lot of people aren't going to give you the time of day.
That's what I'm talking about, Connor. Like, that you have to be aggressive with things that are important to you. Even though that this is like a simple thing that, from a doctor's perspective of just like, these are just routine scans, yada, yada. But it's important to you. So
exactly,
dude, congratulations. When I heard about this, and I was just like, yes, he's finally doing it.
Right. So I'm excited to talk to him. Kind of just the questions that I have. It's like, I'm 30 years old. I know these scans are going to stack up over time. What are my risks? How does that compare to the risk of cancer coming back? Is it more of a peace of mind thing, or is it more of we need to catch this? Because in my head, this is how I think about it. It was a very aggressive cancer, and we haven't seen it since. So if it's a very aggressive cancer, would we have seen it by now? Or are we looking for something else? Can it go dormant for a long time? These are just questions that I don't know. And I could go down the rabbit hole of searching online, and we've talked about that a little bit of, you might just find something that like you don't know is true to your particular situation. And yeah, I mean, you can find so many things that aren't related to you, but could freak you out online. So you got to be careful about that.
So I'm looking forward to getting the follow-up of what you hear, and just the exploratory dialogue that you end up having with the healthcare professionals. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add to that before I move on?
Yeah. Well, I want to shout him out because Dr. Matthew Cotant at Beaumont Hospital over here in Michigan, he's on the east side, and he's literally the reason, one, I'm alive, two, I have kids, because he suggested getting sperm frozen before and just out of the blue, he's like, yeah, you should probably do this. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't even have my 2 kids. So I'm so excited to find out those questions, but I'm so excited to just go and say, look at what you did. I mean, you were a huge part of our family, and because of this, I have 2 beautiful children and a wife that I love, and an amazing life, and it's largely thankful to him. So I'm so excited to just kind of show him pictures and be like, this is because of you.
Hopefully he gets a Christmas card.
Yeah, right. But then again, I know he's doing just God's work, right? So I'm so excited to cheer up his day. You don't know. I mean, maybe he's behind on his schedule. He's stressed, and I've seen that. And I'm excited to lighten up his day, and I think that will help him to kind of take a step back and realize how much good he does in his day to day.
That's amazing. So yes, MaxYourBrain. I'm pumped that you're having this experience and just the overall reflection back on the episodes and what we have talked about. And the larger scale of outside this podcast is the mission and the money raised through support, which has been phenomenal to me, right? I wrote out the business plan and I had a certain goal in mind, and we have reached that goal of dollars raised to then donate to pediatric brain cancer research. And so I have spoken with the researcher, which I have honed down on what the particular research is that MaxYourBrain is going to donate towards. And so when you think about brain cancer and like brain surgery, you can imagine that unless it's a complete mass and it's just removing a golf ball from the area, there are other kinds of cancers that have arms and that just leach into different areas of the brain. And so for my kind of cancer, right, ependymoma, it doesn't do well with radiation, doesn't do well with chemotherapy. So brain surgery is just like the best option. And so what this money is going towards is to have real-time data of the biopsy of what is this kind of tissue. Is this the tumor or the cancer, or is this a brain matter? And so traditionally to get that biopsy is you remove it from the brain, freeze it, send it off to the labs, and around 2 weeks, then you get the final say of, okay, this is actually the cancer tissue and not the, like the brain tissue.
So do they do that prior to surgery? They just do a sample, or is that within the surgery process?
So MRI technology, it does a pretty good job of outlining what kind of cancer it is. And so the biopsy, it gets it to like 99%, like this is what it is. And then from that data point, you can best determine what the treatment options are to further deal with this cancer. And so if we have the certainty that it's ependymoma in my case, then the medical staff can say, okay, we're not going to do these follow-up therapies of chemotherapy or radiation therapy. And so what this research is going, and what the money is going towards, is human trials starting next year of, I can't even explain it properly, having the equipment in the OR to get a sample, and then within 30 minutes determine through gene sequencing what the certainty of the tumor, the tumor or the cancer sample is, or if it's brain matter. And so for one, you get that certainty of, okay, this is the border of the cancer, and so we don't want to resect any further to cause the patient more difficulties. And so to understand what that border is, whether it's a huge mass or if you get the tentacles that go into areas of the brain, so you get to know what the difference is and be a bit more acute with the surgery, which is huge, right? Right?
I mean, yeah, you can attest to it.
Yes, exactly. And so additionally, knowing exactly what kind of cancer that you're dealing with for a better certainty to get a closer time frame of how you want to proceed forward. And so this is for pediatric brain cancer. They're going to start with, oh gosh, I always struggle with this, PGM, the glioblastoma, which they receive patients or do surgeries at least 1 or 3 per month. And then after they get some certainty on this new method, then they're going to branch onto other types of cancers. And that's just amazing to me. And I'm glad that MaxYourBrain can be a part of this mission moving forward.
Yeah, and you talked to the guy directly who's kind of in charge of that. And
Dr. McGee.
And I think he agreed to talk to us or potentially talk to us on the podcast too. So hopefully we can even get more details about that. But it's going to be exciting because we want to bring this information to everybody. So we have a kind of a direct line to kind of all this research, and not only we can raise awareness, but we can inform people of the breakthroughs that are happening. So that's just really cool to hear, and I'm really excited that we get to bring the information to everybody, but also we get to be a part of positive change that can help people.
Yeah, and so MaxYourBrain has a twofold mission statement of helping motivate people and to share different perspectives, and then also raise funds for this kind of research. And so you can split it however way you want to, but I think that there's a huge benefit of working with corporations with the new Neural Connect game that we're developing. So that's going to be coming soon, but also to just help remind people that there are good causes out there. So with that, I just want to wish people a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And yeah, I'm excited for next year and just the forward time ahead of all of us.
Yeah, just be there, enjoy your family, enjoy the holidays. Just have a good holiday.
Checking out here with a message. I don't know who I'd be without brain cancer, but I love who I am with it. Although brain cancer doesn't define me, it continues to help shape who I am today. MaxYourBrain wants to hear from you, so we can flip the script, turn our examples around to help show others that they can do it too. What has shaped you into the better person that you are today? Come on, y'all. I know you know what that is. So please do me a solid. Reach out to MaxYourBrain.org to share that answer, and my team will review it to put it on a future episode. And while you're there, check out ways to donate. Founder of MaxYourBrain, Max, signing out. Peace.